is inside of you, man. You got to do something with that, you know. And even now, even during COVID, we look at folks that's been affected by COVID, you know, and you had one stream of income or one job and things like that. And now that one source of income is gone, man, people are in trouble, trying to have to figure out, you know, how do we pivot and turn and do something else. But you got to learn a whole new skill set, man. And I think that's a beautiful thing, man. So that's what, for me, that's what I got out of when you said, you know, the whole plantation situation, man. That's dope, you know. And I think what a good part about, another part about it was the fact that you actually took that and put that on the on the size of a fortune cookie. You said you started off with, you know,
Right.
you took and put that, man. But that right there was a quote that you began to read, you know. And I believe words are powerful, man. Words can literally create life or death in a person. So you began to speak life into yourself to change your mindset. So when you began to change your mindset, how did you see certain things, man? Because oftentimes when we begin to open our eyes, then we start looking at certain things differently, man. How did that work out for you?
Um, Going back to this the collection agency, there was a situation at the office where the systems was going down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Telephones not working, computers not working, and it's over 100 and something employees in the building.
Mm,
So at this particular time, when the systems is going down, and everybody in the building, or 95% of the people in the building are of my culture. You understand what I'm saying? So the lights is, I mean, the computers are going down, the phones are going down, and we start just gathering around and having conversation, right?
yeah,
And um, I noticed the owner of the company, he comes from the back room with a bag of candy in his hands. And he's handing everybody uh, candy, and as he's handing everybody candy, everybody is everybody is starting to get quiet.
yeah,
And I'm watching this, right? So can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry. Everybody is getting a piece of candy, and as everybody is getting a piece of candy,
yeah,
everybody's getting quiet.
yeah.
So when the owner gets to me, he says, "What piece of candy would you like?" And I said, "I'm good, sir. I don't want no candy. Like I'm straight."
Right.
And I said, "But I do have a question for you." And he said, "What's that question?" I said, "How old were you when you made your first $1 million?" And he looked at me, and the way he looked at me was like, "How dare you? How dare you ask me this question? We're not peers,
Right.
right?"
Right.
So when he said that, my question was a valid question. I really wanted to know, how old were you when you made your first $1 million?
Mm,
So he ended up going to the next person, totally ignoring the question, and then he came back to me and he balled up that bag of candy. And he put the candy down, and he was like, "I was 35." I said, "You was 35 when you made your first million?" He
yeah.
said, "Yeah." I said, "How old were you when you made your second?" He said, 37. I said, "So it took you 35 years to make your first million, and then it took you 2 years to make your second."
Wow.
And he said, "Yeah." I said, uh, how did you do it?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I got the formula."
Mm,
So when he said he got the formula, I asked him in that moment, I said, "Let me ask you this." I said, "Let me ask you a question. For someone that works for you, that wants to be on that same wavelength as you, what advice would you give them?"
mm,
And he said, "Start now and don't stop." And when he said start now and don't stop, I already had the create your own foundation on forever live on the plantation mindset.
yeah.
All he did was,
Yeah.
the battery was
Yeah.
already in my back.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just plugged it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And that was when it shifted for me, that all right, I could do this. I could actually make something out of myself. I don't
Yeah.
have to depend on me coming back to this building to feed my family. I could actually do something on my own.
Yeah.
And brother, when I tell you, I just jumped out there, and June 10th made a year since that conversation. So
Yes,
it's been
sir.
a little bit over a year. So that's when the mindset shifted.
Yeah, I think you're going in and out just a little bit, brother.
You hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I got you now.
All right.
Cool.
So that's when the mind set shifted, was about a year ago.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. You know, oftentimes as a lot of us, we don't get that moment, man, and you know, for you to already have those wheels turning, man, and for that guy to come through at that one moment, you know, and say what he said to you, for you to be like, man, listen, I don't want the candy. How'd you
Right.
make your money? He, you know,
Right.
and that's funny because I think that goes back to the old analogy that says, you know, if you could teach, you can give a man a fish, you can feed him for a day, or you can teach him how to fish, and you feed him
Right.
for a lifetime. And I think that's what you were telling. Like, I understand a piece of candy, but how you make your money? You know,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
and you can give me a few dollars, man, and we can eat, but tomorrow I'm still be hungry though. You
Right.
know, and
Right.
that's man, that's a beautiful thing because like a lot of us don't get that, man. We don't get the opportunity, and I've had to bury some friends, man, that didn't get that opportunity, you know. And I
Right.
think I don't think I know that if there's a reason that you live and it ain't just by accident, man. There's a reason and a purpose for everybody's life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And when we come to that crossroad, or come to that moment, or come to that aha moment where we sit back in our recliner, sit back in our car, or whatever the case, be like, what am I here for?
Right.
What am I
Right.
here
That's a
for?
fact.
You
That's
know what
a
I'm
fact.
saying? And a lot of us, man, unfortunately, we don't get to that what am I here for thing. So we just too busy, doing whatnot, man. I think that was beautiful that you came to that moment, and to shift your mind. I don't, and that's something that I recently started doing within the last week, man. Is just trying to come up with a different positive affirmation every at least every day. But I don't do it every day, but I should. But
Right.
just getting into that mode of saying, okay, this morning, you great, man. This morning,
Yeah.
you gonna do this, man. This morning you gonna do this and this and this, and then just set that goal and then get your mind. It's like waking up and taking a deep breath, like
Right.
let's go.
Right. 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 No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I agree with what you're saying. And at the end of the day, what we still have to understand is that we're human at the end of the day, right?
Right. Yeah.
And one of the things about being human is that we all have feelings. We all see things that we want that we might not be able to touch at this moment. We all might see things that we might think that we could never get to. Like I was having a conversation with my youngest son the other day. We was coming back from his swimming lessons
Hmm.
class, and we just happened to be in a neighborhood that it was a whole bunch of mansions. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Around where he goes to these swimming classes,
Right.
and um, I've been down those streets before, but and those streets actually motivate me, right? When I'm on those blocks.
Yeah.
But one of the things he asked me was, he was like, "Yo, Dad, is this normal?
Mm.
Like, is it normal to live
Yeah.
in something like this?" And I told him it is. It's normal to want more. It's normal to want to achieve more than what you have. Not saying you got to be greedy about it,
Right.
right?
Right.
You got to go out there and rob or steal to get it. But it's definitely normal.
Right.
These people who live in this neighborhood, they're normal.
Yeah.
They're normal people, just
Right.
like us.
Right. Straight up. Yeah. Yeah. 100% right. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, um, I totally understand where you coming from in regards to that breath of fresh air when
Absolutely.
you get up and you gotta go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta go, man. And oftentimes is I think the difference between the entrepreneur and the person that works a regular 9 to 5 whatever. You get up and you go, but you get up and you go in different directions. you
Right.
know, You know, you get up and go, you know what I'm saying, make somebody else's dream come through, true, or whatever the case, or you build their fortune for them. On the flip side, a brother that's out there grinding and doing it for himself, he get up and go, and he gotta go for himself. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. And so as far as the mindset, man, I know a lot of times, you know, folks be a little nervous about, you know, launching out there and really kind of getting into the mode of the entrepreneur thing, man. What are some of the things that you ran into that you had to overcome and that you were like, you know what, I gotta beat this?
So, in all honesty, when wow, that's a good question. But in all honesty, at the moment, even though when I left to the company that I was working for to do whatever it was that I wanted to do,
Right.
what I set out to do wasn't exactly what I'm doing right now.
Right. Yeah.
And what ended up happening was I left the company, and when I left the company, I started to Uber.
Okay.
Still working for myself, right? I'm out Ubering.
Yeah.
And I'm making more money Ubering than I was at the company that I was working for.
I've heard that before.
10 times.
I've heard that before.
Mind blown, right?
Right.
Now, what was going on in my mind at the time was, here it is, I'm cold calling people at the job, on the phone, bill collecting, and now I'm face to face with people in the Uber. So at first I wasn't having conversations. I just get in, follow the GPS, drop you off. So something started because guess what? At the job, my managers and supervisors, they would tell me, you talk too much. Your conversation piece, you always, you on the phone talking, you talking to your neighbors, you just always on the phone. So I started to have conversations with the people in the car. And when I started having the conversation with the people in the car, I started to realize that I was getting tips at the end of each ride.
Yeah.
So I started putting two and two together. Like, why am I getting these tips? Like, why are they tipping me now? Before, I wasn't getting no tips.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting tips. So then I started putting two and two together. Like, wait a minute. The conversation that you're having, you're getting paid for the conversation while you're in the Uber, whether it's a $5 tip, a $10 tip, a $25 tip. So I started to realize that the conversation that I was having, I was getting paid for it. However, it wasn't about the money. What the conversation was, brother, it was the shifting of the mindset.
Yeah.
When somebody got in the car, the first thing I would say is, "What's your dream?" What is your dream? Not, "Hey, how you doing?" They get in the car, they shut the door. Yo, what's your dream? They looking at me like, yo, who is this guy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Asking me, what is my dream?
Right.
So in 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, however long the ride was, that's what the conversation was.
Wow.
And then instead of me saying bye to everybody in the car, I would tell them to create your own foundation or forever live on the plantation. As they were getting out the car.
What?
You
man, you dropped the bomb on them when they got out.
I dropped the bomb on them right when they get out the car. Create your own foundation or forever live on the plantation.
Man, you mess up their whole day. They said live on a plantation. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? Right. But to go back to the overcoming, it was one of the things that I had to overcome was, even though I was motivating people in the Uber. Let's just say I drop you off. Right. So I'm dropping you off, and I'm dropping you off to, let's just say, to the radio station. And I drop you off. I'm talking about, I motivated you to the point where you crying in that back seat.
Wow.
You're at 42 years old, 43 years old. I got you in tears, you crying, you motivated, you inspired, you asking me to let's change contact information. And then you get out the car. And I take off to go to do the next ride. And this is what will come over me, self-doubt. Oh, you think you just motivated somebody. You think you look at you just dropped him off at his job,
Yeah.
but you still in this car.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Who do
Yeah.
you think you are? And this, that, and the third. And that's one of the biggest things that I had to overcome was when I hear God is not going to bring you up to break you down.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
I
saying?
do.
So
I do.
When I started to hear this self-doubt, I had to figure out how to rebuke that voice that I was hearing, because I was on to something. And I knew that I was on to something because here it is. He pulled me from a 9 to 5 where I was making some good money, right? To putting me in this Uber to where I don't care if the purpose was, out of however many rides I did, was to just speak to one person and motivate one person with that create your own foundation or forever live on the plantation quote.
Yeah.
That's what the purpose was.
Absolutely.
So I just had to overcome the self-doubt and really believe that everybody starts at the foundation. That's the even playing ground. And if I could build whatever it is that I'm building from the foundation, then I'm good. I don't care if I'm on here with you and it's only one person that's going to listen to this.
Yes, sir.
My job is done.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I think your volume dropped out again, but can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you know what, man? That I needed you to say that. I really needed you to say that, and the reason why I needed you to say that is because, man, there's a lot of and I've dealt with it, and not to say that I don't deal with it on occasions now, but a lot of people need to hear that, man, off of the strength that, you know, when we hit that that barrier, man, or we hit that mountain, or we hit that wall, oftentimes is it looks too big, man, and it looks too overwhelming to conquer that thing, man, and sometimes that puts the brakes on us, man, and you know we either we begin to go up to a certain degree, and it begins to get too hard. So it's like, okay, well, you know, man, this is too hard. I see how far I've gone. Do I go back, or do I reach this plateau? And oftentimes is, man, when we begin to look back and we begin to go backwards, we don't understand, man, our plateau is right there. You know what I'm saying? They say the hardest part of the battle is right near the end. That's when the fighting gets the most intense, even in sports. When y'all grinding it out to the last couple of minutes of the football game or baseball or basketball game, and y'all really want to win, then you throwing all your all in. Next thing you know, you pull off that win. But if you don't, then you don't see what's on the other side. And I think that's important, man, because self-doubt does kick in, and and I think you were dropping knowledge on those. That's why you got hit with the self-doubt, because you were dropping knowledge on everybody that came in contact with you. So it's like, oh, okay, you giving them knowledge, well, I'm gonna give you doubt. Right. You giving them knowledge and all this positive, good knowledge and positive affirmation, and then I'm gonna give you doubt. You know, but and that's a good thing. I don't believe nothing happens by accident, man. I think everything happens for a reason. And you know, folks that might not have ever thought about that be like, man, what do you mean by plantation? And oftentimes they be like, yeah, give me that one Uber driver, man, that one dude, the one brother. You know, they be like, what guy? You know, like, oh, okay. And then that begins a repertoire, man. It begins to get a relationship to people, man, to really change their mindset and really move forward, man. That's dope that you even thought of that, man. So what keeps you going in this entrepreneurial thing, man? What keeps you going, man? What do you see, you know, when you go out and obviously you talk to folks, you know, I believe, man. Do you do some mentoring and things like that? Tell me a little bit about that.
All right, so it's funny that you bring that up. So when the pandemic hit, like I was out in Uber at the time, right? And it got to the point where I was like, oh no, I got to stop. Like I can't be out here in these streets because I can't bring this invincible monster home. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I ended up coming home, and here go that self doubt, right?
Yeah.
Family is like, nah, you're gonna be okay. Like, don't worry about it. This thing is gonna die down, and you're gonna be able to get back to what you got to get back to.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I reached out to a silent mentor of mine.
Yeah.
And he sent me a video chat. And the video chat that he sent me, he was like, "Look, man, the people that are gonna bounce out of this, are the ones that are gonna that rebuke that self doubt.
Sure.
And the ones that hold on to that self doubt are the ones that are gonna sink.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he said that to me, I was like, yo, you know what?
Yeah.
What I need to do is I need to have those same type of conversations that I was having in the Uber.
Yeah.
But I got to figure out how to do it to where it could touch not just one person, but multiple people.
Yeah.
And I started the Cashing in Dreams podcast.
Nice.
Where I go live and I interview random entrepreneurs, random people that either I bumped into or that I reach out to, that I follow.
Yeah.
And we get on live, man, and we have almost a 2-hour conversation. Yeah. And I sit down and I do my research. I dig deep into your come up. You understand what I mean?
I do.
From your 9 to 5 to it where you are right now. So I start. Shout out Wally. I'm sorry, I'm here live on Instagram as well. And Wally, and it's funny because he is actually the one who I was speaking of that gave me that video.
Facts. Nice.
Yeah. So I started the Cashing in Dreams podcast, and when I started the Cashing in Dreams podcast, I was like, yo, I tell everybody to create your own foundation or forever live on a plantation.
Yeah.
Why don't I just throw that on some t-shirts and see what that does? And my mentor, silent mentor Waleed, I was telling him, I said, yo, I don't got no website. I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
And bro, when I tell you, I sold over 100 t-shirts online with no website.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I do.
And I started to realize and gauge the podcast was really starting to touch people.
Yeah.
And people were, I'm talking about in my DMs, oh my God, thank you. You have no idea. You have no clue what you did for me. And listening to this person's story and listening to this person's story, how it shifted my mindset. And I'm ready to get off of the plantation and move on to building my foundation. So mentorships, I don't consider myself to be a mentor, even though some people say when they check for my stuff, that's what they're looking for.
Sure.
Is the mentorship. But right now it's just conversations, it's a podcast, inspiration, motivation, whatever you want to take from it.
Absolutely.
Here on the Instagram lives, where you can find some of those interviews, and you got the exclusive, and whoever's listening to me on Instagram right now. But I'm actually compiling all of those videos as we speak. That is on Instagram, and we're gonna shift it over to YouTube, and we're really gonna amp this up another notch in regards to the podcast.
Man, listen, that's beautiful, man, and and really what mentorship is just one person sharing his life experiences with other people. I mean, that's what I think it is, because oftentimes when you get a mentor, a lot of times the mentors have most of them share from their heart. They'll share from their heart. They'll share their experiences. They'll share some things that they've learned along the way. And I think that's what really makes it believable. I think that's what makes it relatable, because if I can tell you what I've gone through, and if I can tell you some things that you may not want to go through, or if I can share my heart, like, yo, listen, man, I understand what you're going through. I think that's what really makes it more believable and understanding, because I can't really relate to you if we have nothing in common. You know what I'm saying? If you don't understand my lifestyle, you don't understand where I've gone through, what I've been through, it's kind of hard for me to reach you. But if we have if we have a relatable story, or you can give me content that's valuable, and that's what you did in the Uber. You were dropping gems on people today. They was like, man, this dude, and they was scratching their head. You woke up, as soon as you hop in the car, you say good morning. Most people are prepared most people prepare themselves for moments. When they got in
Right.
your car, they waiting for a good morning.
Right.
They get in the car, you say, "What's your dream?" Like, "Good morning." What? you and you
Right.
get
Like
them off balance, and it's like when you get them off balance like that, what it does is it causes them to refocus, and it's almost like it causes them to really regroup, and then like, okay, well, what are my dreams? That's like if you go into a room and you go to a motivational speaker or somebody, and the first couple of minutes they got you laughing. They just throwing jokes and just laughing, and what that did was that breaks the ice. And then when you break that ice, when you start laughing, then it opens you up to be more receptive to whatever case, and I believe that's what you did. That's why your fight came as soon as it did. That's why your fight came as soon as it did, because you wasn't supposed to do that, man.
Right.
you wasn't,
That's a fact.
but you was, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I get you. I get you.
And, and,
That's
and that's a lot of time, man. I don't know your faith is, man, but that's a lot of time when the enemy come through, man. To sow them seeds of doubt. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
yeah.
and that's what and that's what he does. I've had some people on the show here that deal with mental health and things like that, man. And to listen to some of them brothers talk, and some of my friends that are in that field, to listen to them talk about, just starting off with just that one moment, you know what I mean, or that
Right.
one that one idea, that one thing, that one tragic moment that locks them into that period, man. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, they can't shake that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
I really believe that, like, and when you just said you don't know where my faith is, it's funny because I was actually introduced to faith in the car, in the Uber. Like
That was
that's
your
where that
sanctuary.
yeah, it really was. I
Yeah.
was introduced to faith in that moment because, like, growing up, I knew who God was, I knew who Jesus was.
Yeah.
I've heard of faith and the mustard seed and things of that nature. I just had no clue on what faith really meant because I watched my mom get up and go take care of the house by going to work, whether she worked overnight, whether she worked in the day, and things of that nature, and just came home, and I watched my stepfather, go to work and take care of the bills and things of that nature as far as bringing home money.
Yeah.
But as me being an adult,
Yeah.
and as soon as I hit that car and realized that if you believe,
Yeah.
bro, and you could not say 1,000% knock out self doubt, because self doubt is always gonna come. You just gotta figure out how to maneuver around it.
100%.
And once you can figure out how to maneuver around it,
Yeah.
and get to the next door and get to the next door and get to the next door, you're gonna be good. So, but yo, I look at faith as a beautiful woman, bro.
Yeah.
I look at faith. I look at faith.
Okay.
I look at faith as a beautiful woman that I could bring home to my wife.
Okay.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And have the conversation about what me and Faith did today, and what me and Faith was doing while we were out grinding and pushing, and bring that conversation home. So yeah, no, I could definitely relate to Faith, bro.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful that you said that. You know, it's the woman you can bring home to your woman.
Right.
But no, hey, baby, that's what I got faith here tonight. She say, "Who's faith?" But
Right.
but no, that's wonderful, man. And it is, man. Faith is real big for me. You know what I'm saying? Faith is real big for me. I grew up, and a lot of my examples of the faith, they weren't real positive, man. I seen some, some good people do some bad things, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
I had to get to the point, man, where I kept seeing that. And as a young man, I had to get to the point where it was like, yeah, but that's his life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
her life. Like I don't have to do that just because, you know what I'm saying. If I'm in the faith, if I do the Jesus thing or the church thing, whatever case, yeah, I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I know better than that. But then on the flip side, bro, it's like, but why they doing it? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
Right.
like if you got all that you believe that you got over here, then why you doing that over there? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I had to really look at that, man, for my own self, and to be like, and just do life, like, that their experience doesn't have to be my experience.
Hmm.
That's how I had to grow in that, man. In
Yeah.
fact, I had a good a conversation with a good buddy of mine that's a youth minister, man, that came up through some bad times. I had a good relationship. I had a good conversation with him the other day. Was like, man, it's funny that like our realities were other people's nightmares. Like
Right.
if people say like I was like our stuff that was normal to us, other people would be like, man, what? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it shouldn't have been normal, but it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
to turn that around, man, and to see some of the brothers that I grew up with and some brothers that I met just turn situations and like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and do
Right.
this. And that's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful to create your own stuff, man.
You got to, man, and listen, man. I can. This conversation is a great conversation because I've had some. I'm 30. I'm 38 years old. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
39 in January,
Okay.
and my first son was born. I was 16,
Mm-hmm.
right, and I raised him on my own since he was 3.
Yeah.
And I tell people that he is the one who's actually saved my life.
Wow.
So me creating
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
at that early age
Yeah.
is what what build the foundation for me to be able to build off of.
Wow.
You understand? You understand what I mean?
100%, man.
There was a conversation that me and him was having, and he said to me one day, he was like, "Dad, I remember when we didn't have one table to eat
Mm.
on. Now we have like multiple. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 more than one.
We got more than one table that we can eat on, whether it's the coffee table or end table, whatever it is. There's more than one table. And when he said that, I was like,
Yeah.
"You're right." You just made sense to me
Yeah.
in regards to that. That was the beginning of the
Yeah.
foundation building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. You
I'm
got
with you on that.
you got to, man. Man, you gotta want something different for yourself. Mr. Hold on for a sec. Do we got to call him, Mr. Walker? You want to patch him in, or you gonna record him? You gonna record it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, got a brother that's calling in as vote, but man, that want to say something about his vote, he's recording it.
Okay.
But yeah, that man, you got to, man. And you just you look at the way you look at the way that maybe you were raised, or the way that things happen for you growing up, and then you have to make that mind shift of like, man, I can continue to copy that, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. I can continue to copy that or mimic that, man, or I can be like, you know what, I'm about to erase the whole situation, man, and I'm about to just start building from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And you have to, man. I'm gonna be honest. You talked about that. I'm gonna be a little transparent with you too. Then, my pops, the other day, he came. I'm 43 years old. You know what I'm saying? He came by the house. We were talking and whatnot. Man, brother told me he was proud of me, man.
wow,
I got my family. I raised my family. I've been there since day one. I got my older daughter. She out of state. She's older, but I got my family, man. I raised my family and everything, and that's something that I didn't see the father in the house. You did.
right,
So
right,
so for him to tell me that, what I'm saying, that, you know, and the funny part about it is, it's like a piece of people like, "Well, I don't really need to hear that, man. What I'm saying, growing through, but just growing up, you're like, you know what? When you say this, like, you know what? It's like a little pal. Yeah, you know what? I'm all right then. I'm doing all right.
I'm good. I'm
I'm
good.
good, man. Well, shoot,
Right,
that's all right. You
I'm
know,
good.
and it just, and it gave me a little extra pep, man. That this let you know that, when you go back home, you good.
Yeah,
You know, you good. And it's funny because there's nothing that nobody can tell you when that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Ain't nothing
right,
nobody can tell you to knock you off of that. You know what I'm saying?
at all.
No self doubt or whatever the case, but yeah, man. So we got about maybe 6 or 7 minutes. Real quick, you talked about mentor. or or life coach or whomever that speaks into whomever. How
Right.
important how important do you believe that is for a young man or a young woman, a young lady to hear that, man? How important is it for them to get into those rooms where they can change their mindset, or where they can see something just a little different than what they've gone through? How important is that to you?
I think it's really important. And I go back to the Uber.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up this 18-year-old uh, young man, and we was in off of we was in the hood somewhere. I don't remember the actual street
Right.
that we was off of, but when I picked him up where it was dark in that area. And what I mean by dark, it was like boarded up. It
Yeah.
was it didn't. There was really not a lot of life in that
Yeah.
in that part of town where I picked him up, and I dropped him off
Mm.
in complete darkness.
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Where everything around him was boarded up.
Yeah.
And I asked him what was his dream, right? Because that's the conversation.
Right.
And he was like, "You want to know something, OG? My dream. I wanna play football." I said, "How old are you?" He said, 18. And I said, "So what's holding you up?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm 18 years old. And I've been to prison 11 times." And I was like, "You've been to prison 11 times? Like, what is that?" In my mind, I'm like, "What does that look like
Right.
for an 18-year-old?" So
Yeah.
I said, "Yo, forget the 10 times.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the last time that you were in prison."
Yeah.
And he was like his face just got like lit.
Right.
It was bright.
Right.
He was like, "Yo, I went to prison for stealing cars."
Yeah.
So I said, "Yo, you went to prison for joyriding? Like you was just joyriding
Right.
whips and went to prison for that? You could have borrowed the Uber if you know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To prevent you from going to prison."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, OG. I would steal cars, and when I would steal the cars, I found somebody. At first, I was joyriding,
Yeah.
but then I found somebody to buy them from me at $8,000 a car."
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, "Yo, you know what I said? I said, yo, I love your ambition."
Yeah.
He said, "OG, I just told you I went to prison
Yeah.
for stealing cars. What do
Right.
you mean? You love my
Ambition, right?
right?" I said, "Has anyone ever told you what a dealer's license is?"
Mm.
He said, "No." I said, He said, "What is that?" I said, "Where you can go to an auction, right? Buy a car,
Yeah.
and turn around that same car that you were stealing,
Yeah.
and sell it to the same guy
Yeah.
that was buying them from you from $8,000 a car, and you don't ever have
Yeah.
to worry about going to prison."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was shocked.
Yeah.
So then he started. I said, "Let me ask you a question."
Yeah.
I said, "Bro, I can't breathe outside of in jail or I already know the air conditioning there is different for
Yeah.
me. I can't breathe in those walls."
Right. Right.
I said, "How did you survive in there?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yo, OG, I learned how to do tattoos." And he started showing me his tattoos on his arm. And he was like, "I did this, and I did this, and I did this." I said, "Yo, I love your ambition, bro."
Yeah.
He said, "Yo, OG, I told you I was doing tattoos in prison."
You kept turning everything around.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Yo, I'm pretty sure it was a group of you guys that was stealing cars, right?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yep." I said, "But I'm pretty sure you was the only one that got caught, right?" He said, "Yep." I said, "Well, this is what I need you to do.
Mm.
I need you to teach all of your guys that was stealing cars with
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
how to do tattoos.
Mm.
And then what I need you to do is I need you to go get that dealer's license
Yes, sir.
and buy and sell cars,
Yes, sir.
and get the money from that to start these tattoo parlors.
Yes, sir.
And you guys are going to have the biggest tattoo parlors in the city."
Yeah.
He was
nice.
like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
So to answer your question,
Yeah.
it is a must
It is.
that somebody
Yeah.
has to be in these young people's ears
Yeah.
And not telling you that you have to be this father figure over them,
Sure.
because you can get on their level.
Yeah, yeah,
You,
yeah,
you can get on their level, but you just have to. It's a must that
yeah.
you get on they get a young person has a mentor that they must listen to, whether it's
Absolutely.
the church or the streets. It's somebody that they have to
Yeah,
listen to. And when I say the streets, meaning someone that can relate to them. If they can't walk into a church
yeah,
and relate to somebody in the church, they
yeah,
definitely can relate to the right person
yeah.
in their neighborhood. They just got to find them.
100%, 100%, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you gotta speak life into them, man. You
Facts.
gotta speak that life. You know, and in fact, it's in a sense, it's like you're the referee. You know, and sometimes they won't oftentimes is go to the church house because a lot of people might feel like they're being judged when they go into church. Yeah,
Right,
I
right,
smell like a little bit of weed or my pants are
right,
sagging or whatever, and I'm gonna sit over there and everybody gonna be looking at me. You know what I mean?
right,
But I'm
right, right.
but I'm tired of the street lifestyle. Like I'm really trying to get up out of this. So like a brother in that medium is like, yo, I'm right here, brother. I done did the street thing. I'm in the church thing, so I can understand and relate to it, whatever the case.
Right.
And one thing you said, man, was when a brother calls you OG, how you feel about that?
You want to know something? It feels good because growing up, the people who I considered
Yep,
OGs, they were
yep,
they were OGs and they good hearted people.
yeah,
But the things that they were doing in life wasn't
yeah.
that term OG.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it really means like a father figure. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I mean?
Yep.
And if you're getting the wrong information from the wrong OG, it could sway you the wrong way.
Yeah.
So when he hit me with the OG, being that I'm 38 years old, and he got out the car, I felt that it was a blessing for me to hear that, because at the end of the day, there are OGs out there that'll sway you to go to prison.
Absolutely. And the reason
So
and the reason why I ask you that, because a brother called me an OG some time ago, and I was like, I said, brother, I ain't no OG, man. Because in my mind, the OG was the older cats in the neighborhood. I was like, man,
yeah,
but I'm a young man, I ain't no OG. This was years ago. But check this out though, brother. I had to understand that for him to call me an OG, and for the people that he's around, they might be dying young, or
right,
they might be
right,
going to the prison young. They might be going to penitentiary young. So to find somebody that's over 30 is an OG
yeah,
to him. But to me,
yeah.
growing up, somebody that was over 40 or 50, that was the
That's an
OG.
OG.
That was the
Yeah,
OGs. You know what I'm saying? With the
yeah,
big cars, and they the OG. But let me tell you something.
yeah,
Don't ever sell dope, brother. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? There was the
yeah.
OGs. But me, I'm just trying to talk to you. You call me an OG like I'm an old head or something, man. It's like,
Nah, don't take it like
no,
that.
I
See,
didn't. I didn't. I understood what he meant though. I,
yeah,
I, I totally
yeah.
understood what he meant when he said that, man. I said I respect that, brother. I talked to him. So real quick, we got about 5 minutes into the show. So, do you vote? Are you a voter?
I do vote. I already voted. I early voted. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, hold up,
Come on.
hold up. Hold on
Oh
one
man.
second. I secured the vote.
Yes, sir. He got the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I secured the vote out here in Atlanta, Georgia, a few weeks ago. Me and my wife, we went out and voted.
Yes, sir.
And it is important to
Beautiful.
get out and vote. So, just to answer your question, I am a voter.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Meant something to you, didn't it?
It definitely did.
That's
It
good.
definitely did.
That's good. It's got to mean something to you, man. And it's got to, man. In fact, my family and I, we went out. In fact, I was texting you earlier, and we were talking about we're going out to
Yeah.
vote. Yeah, he said, "Go vote, bro." I said, "Yeah, I'm on it. I'm already
Right.
on it." But
Secure that
but
vote.
absolutely, man. I took my family. We all went out. It didn't take us very long. But you got to do that, man. That's your right, man. And it's so many people, man. You see people talking about voter purging, voter intimidation, all this stuff, man, and folks, but you got to secure that, man, and once this presidential election's over, man, we got to focus on our locals, man, our locals,
Right.
our locals. Just don't everybody. And I played my man Yellow Pain some time ago on the radio. Brother talking. He got a whole song about voting, man. But
Yo, that record is
oh, did
amazing.
you say?
What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I played that. I was like, oh man, brother went in, man. So we got about a couple of minutes. How can people reach out to you, brother? If they want to contact you, man, or get your merchandise or whatever the case, brother.
So I mean, on Instagram, you guys can catch me at Lawrence is Cashing in Dreams. That's LAWRENTEISCASHING. In Dreams. So Lawrence is Cashing in Dreams. The website is cashingindreams.com.
Right on.
On YouTube, Lawrence is Cashing in Dreams. Just follow me, man, and take, not even follow me, lead with me on this journey as we change people's lives and change their mindset on creating their own foundation and getting off of whatever plantation that they're on mentally, to break the shackles, to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. Create
Absolutely.
for yourself.
Absolutely, man. We got the radio cut us off, brother Lawrence. Listen, man, I thank you for your time, brother, and man, we'll wrap again, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
It was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure. Let's definitely do this again sometime.
Absolutely. I don't know what I'm doing this, man, but I'm gonna give you a pound on the other side, brother. Hey, take care, man.
You do the same later, man.
All right, brother. Peace.